Hello everybody, let's do end of day update. It's a live update. I think I'm planning to do that going forward, live update, so you guys can talk to me if you have any questions. And yeah, let's review and I will do a market review, and then at the end, if you guys are here, any questions, I will answer those. Okay, so let's start with the Nasdaq 100. You can see this perfect indicator, very nice indicator. You can see red lines are the sell lines, green lines are the buy lines, and look what happened today. We came from sell zone to the buy zone. You can see if I zoom in, touch exactly to the dot. Okay, this is like the beauty of this indicator. So you buy on the touch of this, and then that's it, right? And you close your short position. So you can see from here, Nasdaq 100, you could have shorted here, and then as a touch of first green line, you could have bought it or cover your short 1.45% dump. And then from there, if you would have bought it again, you can see from here to neutral line. White line is the neutral line, another 9.9% pump. Okay, so very nice trade here. And yeah, across the board, nice trades. Crude oil, I was telling everybody to buy in the buy zone. This is the green line here. Those who are daily regular subscribers, they know the buy zone is here. So buy from here to the sell zone, 7% pump. CNQ, I was telling everybody to buy. You can see how many times it gives you opportunity to buy. It was below third standard deviation. Buy here, buy here, buy here. Last 3 days, I was telling everybody to buy, and look what happened today. It bounced almost 7.5, 8% pump. All right. Very, very good trades. Gold, you can see gold bouncing very, you can see it's just a buy zone on 13th of December. Just bounce aggressively from here, guys. Unbelievable bounce. You can see 3.35 from green line to the red line. Amazing, amazing trades. You can see Bitcoin all of a sudden. Okay, you can see it was in buy zone on 12th of December, and I was sharing this with everybody. And you can see here buy zone to sell zone, 6.8% pump. Even today, this morning, I was recording videos, and Bitcoin just dropped, dump from nowhere, right? Just like a few minutes, just dump, went to the buy zone, just quickly recovered to the sell zone. Easy trade, guys. So if you just waited for this to touch buy zone, from here to the sell zone, 5% trade, 4.5 or 4.6% trade. Easy, easy, easy. Ethereum also, you can see same thing, just a very claim to the came very close to the buy zone to right now, 4.83% pump. Nice trades. Tesla was in the buy zone yesterday. You can see today was up almost 5%. You can see here, Wednesday, yesterday, just the buy zone. I shared with this with you guys. You can see 11% pump in one day. Okay, if you bought yesterday and today, you could have sold it. Nice, nice, nice trades. So anyhow, hopefully you guys took advantage of these. But let's quickly review daily analysis. So let's see how things are progressing now, and let's add our indicator. Let me add. Let's see what I want to add. I want to add PPO indicator here today. So let's see how things are moving, and then we can keep changing indicators as required. And let's start with the SPY, which is cash index, which is S&P 500 cash index. Here you go. And you can see today was a gap up, but then eventually it came down. So where do we go from here? All right. So you can see it's a doji candle. It's an indecision candle. This divergence is erased. So there is no divergence on daily chart. You can see prices making higher high and they burn through the divergence. So there is no divergence. So I'm going to delete this. So you got to be, but there is on PPO still a little bit of divergence. All right. Sorry, guys. You can see RSI made a higher high with higher high on price. However, PPO is making equal or lower high. Okay, so slight divergence on PPO, but this is very bullish. Looks like people are trying to short, but they keep pumping. 1 hour chart, I will show you what happened today. We gapped up. You can see we gap up and then we came down, filled this gap, and now we closed almost 0.32% higher. All right. Now there's a gap here around, so let me go back to daily chart. You can see there's a gap here around 455, 40, 440. All these lines are the gaps to fill. I don't know when they're going to fill, but they will fill one time for sure. But you can see dark green, light green, and dark green background on RSI. Extremely, extremely overbought, right? These are highest levels. You want to buy when background is red. You want to take profits when background is green. So this is telling you, screaming you these charts to take profit. And these are not the levels to buy. Okay, you have to wait for a pullback. And another thing is VIX. You can see VIX how nicely it predicted cycle low here, same day, and that was the bottom, 12th of December. I did not change anything on VIX, and then it made a double bottom, and now VIX is ready to bounce. And if VIX bounces, that's going to be bearish for stock market, all right? And also VIX is making new low with higher momentum on RSI. You can see RSI is making higher high. PPO not have a higher momentum, but one of the indicators is high, and VIX got a green buy signal today. All right. Now, if big VIX bounce, I think that's going to be bearish for stock market. So you got to be a bit careful here. So again, going back to SPY, I think we are just forming a topping process. Uh, Almost this quite possible we can just chop around here. Eventually, we're going to come down. All right. So maybe in January or February, we're going to have some. A little bit of downside. So this whole area is now, if I zoom out a bit, very close to the previous all-time highs. All right. So now this whole area, which is price action, looks like a flag now. That could be the next support level. We could be looking at S&P 500. So we can draw something like this. If we get a pullback, so this is where we want to be looking to get support and want to see buyers. Stock market eventually will come back to test if there are any buyers. It cannot just go straight up like this is a parabolic event, right, guys? Whenever it goes straight up, it has to come down for cooling, all right? So be careful. It's an indecision candle. Wait for a pullback before you buy again. Triple Qs, Nasdaq 100, same thing here. 1 hour chart. You can see a little bit of gap up, but came back to fill this gap, and then now I think we are probably looking like trying to establish a little bit of pullback here. This is again very extreme level here. So just trying to make a topping process and then try to come back here. All right. All these gaps are a couple of gaps to fill. Again, you can see RSI, light green, dark green background, very overbought short term. And actually there is no divergence, almost little bit of divergence there, but I think it can be erased if it keeps going higher. PPO has a divergence, clear divergence here, but RSI it could erase, all right? So just be mindful of that and wait for a pullback, okay? These are extreme levels. You don't want to be buying here. And let's go to Dow Jones. I think Dow Jones also made a new all-time high. DIA ETF, let's zoom out. Yeah, new highs, okay? And it again, this negated divergence, so you can delete this. You can see extremely overbought levels here. And again, guys, I won't be looking to buy here, okay? I'm not a chaser. I'll wait for a pullback. I'm just gonna let this do whatever he wants to do. IWM massive gap up, and now there's another gap around 200.8. It can fill that gap. It's again it's way above my expectations what it is doing right now. But from here maybe it will fill this gap and then come back. I don't know if it's going to come all the way down, but at least I'm looking for this gap fill at the moment right now. All right, crude oil. You can see 1 hour chart breakout. You can see this downward trending line, new low, higher momentum on PPO, higher momentum on RSI, broke out. Now again on this resistance area, crude oil, this is live market, but it made a new high compared to this high. So that's a good news. So maybe it will make a higher low and then gonna go higher. So that's what I'm expecting. So this breakout happened on this trend line. So you can delete this for now. So now it's again, this is a resistance. Okay, if this resistance clears, I'm gonna make it green, and then it's gonna go back to here. This is the next another resistance around 80 bucks. All right. So from now until New Year, I think crude oil is gonna be a bit bullish. So actually, what I do expect is from here, make a like a try to make a equal high or go face this resistance and then come down gap, come back down. All right, this is my ideal path for crude oil, and we'll see. We if you are a regular subscriber, you can see I perfectly predicted this downfall, and I'm saying it's gonna have a bounce until December, early January, and then we're gonna have a double bottom, and then we will figure out where it goes from there. CNQ, again gap up, couple of gaps up. This is the stock. I'm looking to take profits on these two levels here. So from where it is right now, first level is 2.5% away, second level is around 5% away. So once we reach this, I will be done. Again, there's a gap here also. Just remember, if there's any pullback on this, look to buy on this gap fill, but it can still go straight up first and then come back to fill this gap like how it did here. went up higher and then came back later, a couple of weeks or a couple of months later to fill this gap. So that's quite possible as well. It all depends on what crude oil will do. Gold came to the buy zone. You can see higher highs, pullback. Now it has to be higher than this low here. 1933. As long as it's higher than that, all is good. So it's bouncing now, so it's getting ready for maybe a new all-time high. We'll see. Silver came very close to this support trend line. You can see here support, support, support. Did not touch it, just bounced earlier than that. Now it's in a massive resistance zone. So is silver going to come back, touch this and then go, or is it going to go straight up? I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Natural gas in a chop zone, so a little bit of bounce, then I'm expecting another new low. Okay, just a bear flag, new low, maybe double bottom, touch previous lows, just chop around, and then eventually in summer we're gonna go and see a pump on natural gas. Dollar, okay, so new low here. With That's why after FOMC, Fed said that they're gonna lower the rates, and then dollar is now falling like a free fall here. So here you go. So now this became resistance. This is other resistance, so I think it's coming closer to support. So this is the support area. So that's the thing. If dollar is coming closer to support, that means maybe tomorrow we'll have another low VIX crush Friday, maybe another new low on dollar. But that's going to be bullish for stock market, and then probably it's going to bounce from there. So we'll see how it goes. Bitcoin. Let's go with Bitcoin. Let's go to futures. Let's go to 1 hour chart. No gaps here, but you can see on Bitcoin there's a gap here, 44,785. Now there are all these gaps to the downside. First gap is 39,420, second gap is 34,165, third gap is 29,760, fourth gap is 26,305. So you decide which gaps will be filled. Um, Now it can chop around here and then come back to fill this gap, or it's going to fill the upper gap. I don't know. So maybe it wants to fill this gap and then come back down. So that's also possible, all right? So keep that in mind. Ethereum, same thing. Actually, is this gap filled? 1 hour chart. Let's quickly look here. Why did I draw this gap? No, this over came very close, but still did not fill. So maybe it will make a like a slightly high and then come back, all right? So we'll see how that goes. All right. Where else we go? We check Toronto Stock Exchange, bullish, 1 hour chart, new high, maybe made a dotted line here. All right. So go back to daily chart, and it's trying to make probably a topping, not a topping process, but I think I'm looking for a pullback, maybe to fill this gap. So at least fill this gap before we go higher. A lot of resistance there. Actually, I have to check are there any gaps here. So let's quickly do that right now because we have some time. What I can do is I can go back here, try to check any gaps on 1 hour. Toronto Stock Exchange. Let's see here. I don't see any gaps. Interesting. Interesting. No gaps. If I zoom this one in. Oh, wait, maybe I did find a gap here. So here you go. So we can draw a gap like this gap. So that's our target. To the top side, gaps do get filled. So there you go. Now go back here, go to daily chart. So yeah, there you go. There's a target here around 21.6. So that's our next target. But maybe we'll get a pullback first before we go higher. All right. Hang Seng Index, 1 hour chart, breakout. You can see breakout, back test, and just bounce, right? There's now a big gap here. So eventually this gap will be filled at some point. So we'll see. But for now, we'll mark this as a green. There's a gap here. But you can see very nicely higher momentum on PPO and RSI. You can see here in price making new low with higher momentum. This is how you predict breakout, and this is a perfect example, China, all right? Alibaba is like at a new lows, so look to buy those stocks, okay? Since we're talking about China, let's quickly look at Alibaba. Where did it go? Here you go, Alibaba. All right, look at what happened. Actually, there's interestingly, they are giving dividends, which never happened before, very healthy dividends. But let's go to 1 hour chart and draw a trend line. Oops, sorry, got the wrong tool here. If I want to draw a trend line on 1 hour chart, something like this, all right? You can see we got a breakout here, all right? Maybe making a flag, getting ready for another pump. There's no gaps here now. Lot of gaps. It's going to take me a while to fill to figure those gaps out. But again, looks like a breakout. And yeah, China might be getting ready for a pump now, since now S&P 500 is at new high. Triple Qs is at new high. So yeah, you might be looking to buy Chinese stocks. All right. Bond market. Wow, what a bounce. I was expecting this pullback. Looks like this pullback is done here. Okay, so this pullback is almost done. Now again, look to buy the dip. Nothing else changed. Just buy the dip. That's all it is right now. Copper. Again, looks like this pullback is done, looking like it wants to go higher. So again, look to buy all dips. Palladium was up almost 8%. The good news is it broke out of this downward line, and this was a buy signal today. This was out of this trend line, almost 12% up. You can see 10% PALL now just flagging. So now next major resistance is here. Actually, this whole area is actually I'm gonna add another box here. Let me get that. So this whole area is next major resistance where it is right now, right? Um, uh, yeah, here you go. So it really needs to cross that, and then this next box is next resistance. So let's draw this nicely here. Here you go. And let me get that. Let me get this box right. Background also right. Here you go. Okay, it's in the resistance area. Okay, if it can flag out and then bounce, we'll see how it goes. But right now it's in the resistance area. Soya beans also in the buy zone. This is where you want to buy. Nothing changed. Wheat nicely pulling, pumping. It came to the buy zone and bouncing. Nothing changed. Corn not able to break out, but just consolidating, but trying to make a bottom here, which is good news. It's not going anywhere, but trying to establish a bottom because it came back very significantly. So just bottoming out and then will pump at some point. Sugar also looking for this buy box here. So any bounces, I don't see any divergences yet. So I want to see a new low with higher momentum on RSI and PPO to get bullish again. Until then, it's a free fall. All right. What else is there? Tesla. Let's look at Tesla breaking out. Today was a breakout of this trend line. Okay, so this could be a buy signal, but if I go to 1 hour chart, it gapped up. All right, so I don't like whenever stock gaps up. So I think maybe it's going to come back, fill this gap, and then go higher. So that's the only thing which is worrying me. So just keep an eye. If it comes back on these gaps, first gap is here, second gap is here, 239 and 224, look to buy on the gap fills. All right. Apple again in the big resistance area, but today also gapped up. Now this dotted line is a gap. Again in the resistance, you buy stock at support. Buy stock at resistance, especially when there's divergence on RSI. New high with RSI making lower high, PPO making lower high. So you have to be a bit careful. You don't buy on resistance, you buy on support. All right. You short on resistance. Netflix in the resistance area. Again, this trend line came back, tested this trend line, I'm going down. Again, looking to fill these gaps. Microsoft down 2%. Still did not make a new low yet compared to this low. If it needs to really hold right now, if it breaks down from here, first gap is 35, 356, second gap is around 384. So you can look to buy at first gap, which is a support around 356. Google again came to this resistance area and now sold off, and a couple of gaps on the top. Now all these gaps at the bottom. So I don't know which will fill first. Maybe it will fill up first, then come down, or maybe it will come down, fill, and then go higher. We'll see. Meta, Facebook also near resistance area. So again, all these big tech stocks are near resistance. Amazon also near resistance, trying its best, but this is a whole resistance area. Let's see if it wants to come back. Snowflakes keep going higher, parabolic move, which is good for, there's no divergence. So again, it can still go higher. Nvidia in a big resistance box. If it comes down, fill these two gaps on 423 or 408. Those are two good areas to buy. AMD also just keep going higher. Doji candle. Let's see if it is going to be a little bit pullback. Look to buy on a pullback. All right. Newmont Mine gap up. Let's see if we can get a gap fill. If it goes down, look to fill this gap. That will be a buy area. Gold miners again gap up. Look to fill this gap. Then buy here before we go higher. All right. Let's look at XLK tech sector. Again going higher, lower momentum on PPO, RSI a little bit lower. Look to buy on a gap fill. XLE energy sector again gap up. I was telling everybody look to buy energy sector, and you can see almost 3% gain. So congratulations if you bought. Now this next resistance is here, so it can still go higher. And if it comes back down here, look to buy. Uh, sorry, look to buy on this support. All right, on a gap fill. XLV massive dump. Not a massive dump, but just consolidating. Look to buy on a little bit of pullback. XLU also was going higher. Look to buy on a pullback. Industrial sector. Oh wow, just going straight up. No divergence in PP and RSI. Very bullish, but look to buy on a gap fill. Real estate sector also gapping up. All these gaps will be filled. I don't know when, so I'm just gonna patiently wait. Let market do its thing. Financials also looking very bullish. Let's wait. Like you don't buy at overbought levels. You buy at oversold levels. Okay, you want to see green area to buy. KRE also very over. Everything is very overbought in my opinion. Shopify also going higher. Everything is going higher. So there are a few stocks which are lower. So let's look at those which you want to buy. Pfizer. Okay. Now Pfizer, the divergence is gone, so I can delete this, so that's not valid anymore. However, there's still a little bit of divergence on, here you go, on PPO. You can see PPO has divergence. I don't know about RSI, let's quickly check. Maybe there's some divergence on RSI still there from here if I draw. Still a little bit of divergence on RSI. You can see here price is making lower high and RSI is starting to make higher high, PPO making higher high. There's divergence. Now there's this trend line. Look to buy on a break of this trend line, okay, because it can still keep going lower. So there's no buy signal until we get a breakout. Now this gap down here, just be mindful of that, that we had a gap down. So um, it's possible if you want to be brave, uh, these gaps do get filled. I just don't know how long it's going to take, but eventually it will fill. If you're a long-term investor, I think these are great levels to buy, okay? Even just first gap fill from where it closed today, Pfizer to first gap fill is almost around 9%. All right, that's a good opportunity to buy Pfizer. All right, let's see if there's anything else interesting here. XOM. Again, I was telling everybody to buy XOM oil, and XOM almost 2.69% right on this resistance area. Maybe it break out. Let's go to 1 hour chart, try to figure this out. Uh, XOM here. So we can draw a little bit of line like this. Hold on. Here you go. We can draw something like a little bit of transverse line like this. Okay. And you can see nicely it broke out. But just remember, if it comes for a gap fill, you could be looking to buy XOM on a gap fill. All right. And also we got a buy signal today. So there's still a lot of upside on XOM. This is the biggest American oil miner. If it starts to pump from here, it can go almost 13% higher. All right. You can see all oil stocks, all 3x leverage oils for pumping. All right, it was a very good news. I think XLE also bounced nicely, almost 3%. So if you bought 2x leverage, you could have got 6% very nicely. All right, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Please hit the like button on this live stream, and I wish you a great day for tomorrow's trade. And if there are any questions you want me to cover any particular stocks, leave a comment and I'll try my best to review those. And I wish you all the best and happy trading. All right, I'm just gonna fix my charts and then I'm gonna log out. All right, give me a second. Let me save this. All right, I guess we're ready. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.